Hi, friends. I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring myself and Zach.
Wait. We're doing a podcast?
You know, Zach, every time you ask that question, I always have to answer that question with another question.
Okay.
What if us and another universe, what would we be doing right here, right now? Would we actually be doing a podcast? Or would we be broadcasters in a Major League Baseball game?
No, I think we would be making out. And absolutely, there is one universe where we are together. I feel like we're lovers.
As we and also, I feel like there's another universe where we are broadcasters, but there's another universe where we have hot dogs for
Oh, God.
If you're wondering, this is our review on Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Wait, could you repeat that? What was that title?
Everything,
Everywhere,
All
at
Once. Hey, this was this was your movie.
E-I-E-I-O.
And on this farm, he had some hot dogs. And this was your number 9.
This was my number 9. And it was, again, a movie that was out of left field. I did not have this on my radar until I saw the trailer. Genuinely.
Well, and you sure enjoyed it during our first viewing when you did something.
So here's the thing. We did a double feature. We did Sonic the Hedgehog at like
6:30?
No, it was earlier. It was wasn't it? It was like at 4. We did it at like 4 o'clock. We then walked around Disney Springs, and then got some dinner at Chicken Guy, which was Mitch's first time to Chicken Guy. What did you think of Chicken Guy?
I loved it. I kind of want to go again. I may do that after this.
It was really, really good.
Oh, but should be close. Never mind.
But we tried to get a 6:15 showing of Everything Everywhere All at Once, but AMC wouldn't let us because they said Sonic was going to end after that, after the movie started.
Right.
So the next available time was 9:40 at night. Now, I have done late night movies. I'm no stranger to them.
Neither am I.
However, I could not keep my eyes open. I was so tired. Not because of what this movie was doing. I was genuinely intrigued and enraptured by this movie, but sleep just got the best of me. It was a dark room. There was some very suggestive people sitting right next to me. So I was just falling asleep. But
I think there was one bit during the movie where I actually nudged
me, yeah.
And he woke up.
Yep. You did that during the Batman too.
I did. I did.
Yeah, but again, it's nothing again. It was nothing against this movie. Me falling asleep had actually genuinely nothing to do with this movie. I was just so tired.
But let's talk about this movie because this was your number 9.
It was my number 9.
Agent number 9.
My number 9 was directed and written by a duo by the name of Dan Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
And it was also produced by
the Russo brothers.
What? You know the same brothers that directed Avengers Endgame?
And Civil War and
you mean
Winter
they did
Soldier.
They did the indie title?
They did.
Well,
they've actually been doing a lot of indie stuff, which I've really been loving.
Good for them. So a quick summary is an aging Chinese immigrant is swept up in an insane adventure where she alone can save the world by exploring other universes, connecting with the lives she could have led.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. So,
Zach?
As always, we split our reviews up into a non-spoiler section. We then give our review, so if you don't want to be spoiled on anything that happens, you can hear what we think, and then...
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. But you can hear what we think, and then we'll dive into our spoiler section while giving a lot of notice about it.
So I have one quick thing before we go into our section. So, in another universe, would we be doing this podcast?
Okay.
Wait, we are doing a podcast.
Yeah, we are doing a podcast.
Would we do it differently? Would we do spoilers and then non-spoilers?
I think there's a universe to that.
Would we have hot dogs for hands, or would we have chicken fingers for hands?
There's the multiverse is a cosmic force that we have yet to know anything on.
I feel like also in another universe, Jazz would be doing the podcast.
Oh yeah, Jazz would be the star of the podcast.
And
however, he already is. So
and
we are living in
I
that
feel like
universe.
we also would be his pets.
Oh, we would be his pets. 100%. He would own us. He already owns me. So,
we love you, puppy.
So let's talk about my number 9.
Yeah, Zach, we got to hear your first thoughts.
This movie will not be for everybody. I will say that right off the bat. Because this movie is bonkers.
Yeah.
It is bonkers. And I love that they went as far as they did. They could have gone farther. They could have reeled it in. But they hit like kind of like a nice happy medium of bonkers and known of what's going on. I will also say as well, another thing, for all my non-Mandarin speaking friends, you are probably going to be reading about 50 to 60% of this movie. Mm-hmm. It has a lot of subtitles. But to be honest, that's okay because of the characters and who they are and where this is set. So I am completely okay with our main characters speaking Mandarin for a majority of the time.
Absolutely,
because it's within their characters. Mm-hmm. So, and the directors definitely give enough like breathing room time that you are able to read the subtitles and be able to get everything. I rarely think I missed a line of dialogue because I couldn't read as fast.
I didn't either.
Like the dialogue was very tightly written to the point where you could read it and still have time to like digest and understand exactly what they're trying to get across, and then they move on to the next bit of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
They did a really fantastic job with that.
Mm-hmm.
All the actors were really, really wonderful in this. I genuinely love each and every concept. I went into this movie hoping for a multiverse movie, and I got it in spades. So I really love their concept. They hit it really well. Will it be on my top 10 movies at the end of the year? Maybe not. The year is still young.
It's only
but
April.
I am so happy I went to go see this movie. Mm-hmm. Mitch, what did you think of Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Well, I will second you being tired because I also was very tired. And I was just full from Chicken Guy, so that took my mind off it.
That's fair.
And I think I told you I was dealing with sore throat at the time, which I don't know if I'm a wuss or something, but when I have a sore throat, I can't focus on anything.
That's fair.
But this movie actually kept me focused for the first 2.5 acts.
Uh-huh.
But the last bit of the third act was just literally, like you said, so bonkers for me.
Yeah.
Where I lost a lot of interest really
Sure.
quick. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, in the spoiler section, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I understand that. I feel that.
When I left that movie, I talked to Zach. I said, for the first 2.5 acts, this movie was pure genius. Mm-hmm. But then that last, I don't even know how long it was. I would say good 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was. The third act was the shortest act for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they very minor spoiler. They split this.
Yeah.
So because the title is so long, they kind of split it into chapters. The first chapter is everything. The second chapter is everywhere, and then the third chapter is kind of almost brilliantly called All at Once.
Right.
Because everything just kind of falls all together.
Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of a long title, is because it's kind of telling you the chapters of the movie. Mm-hmm. And the first 2 chapters are genuinely like the meat and potatoes of this movie.
Oh,
yeah. And the third act is what like wraps it up.
Yeah. I feel like there was just so much going on with the last like 30 some odd minutes.
Yeah.
There was just a point in the movie I'm just like, Oh my gosh, I really like what's going on. I appreciate the effort that they're doing. They're doing such a good job. The movie is good, but there were so many points in the movie where I'm like, please don't go any further. Just end it, because there were, in my opinion, there were so many bits in the movie where it could have ended. I do appreciate that they kept going and wanted to get the product out as best as possible.
Sure.
But there were just so many bits in the movie. I'm like, please, for the love of God, just end so I can go home and get rid of this godforsaken sore throat that's been bugging me. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this movie very, very much. But just that last 30 minutes. That last
act just kind of left you wanting.
There was a point where I almost fell asleep with Zach. Yeah. Because there was just so much going on. It wasn't hard to follow.
No. It was just it was everything everywhere all at once.
I think, and that's possibly what the directors were trying to do.
Yeah.
They knew people were going to be like, okay, let's do something somebody hasn't done in a very, very long time or ever. Let's put everything everywhere all at once in this last 30 minutes, and let's literally blow people's minds to the point where they fall asleep. And boy, they delivered.
But let's talk about the actors that delivered us this movie.
Oh, for sure.
So we can't not talk about this movie without talking about our star of this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely her movie. It's Michelle Yeoh, who plays Evelyn. This woman, every single time that she's in a movie, is always a powerhouse. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the reasons why I was really drawn to this movie. Also, was not only because it was a multiverse movie, but because she was gonna star in it. Mm-hmm. And we never really, to do a multiverse movie, and especially like an action multiverse movie with an actress that's getting up there in age, mm-hmm. is very interesting and very wonderful. And oh my gosh, does Michelle do such a wonderful job with all these different multiversal like selves.
Yeah.
Each self feels like that character, mm-hmm. if they just would have gone down a different path.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she did very, very well. I really can't say much about Michelle Yeoh, but she was incredible. That's all I have to say.
And then, this next one, I'm so happy to see him.
We haven't seen him in a very long time.
In a long time, because he was a child actor, to be honest. The last time I saw him, it's Ke-Huy Kwan, who played Waymond. He's Short Round from Indiana Jones.
He still sounds like
Short Round.
Yeah. There was a point in the movie at the beginning where we heard him speak. I'm like,
that's Short Round.
Well, it wasn't just that, but I'm just like, was that the husband?
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, you know what? I applaud that.
But
great.
I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, two characters, because he plays the Waymond of Evelyn's like husband that mm-hmm. we see in the main universe, that this is pretty much set in.
The Earth one.
Yeah, we'll call it that. And then you had the Waymond who is trying to talk to this Evelyn from a different universe.
Yeah.
Both are really different.
Oh, absolutely.
But really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because the one from the original universe is very sheepish.
Very dorky,
but very lovable. Like,
especially at the very last act. Mm-hmm. He had a big moment.
He had a very big moment in the last act. And it's
beautiful.
And you just feel for that character.
Oh,
genuinely.
Sure.
Like, I feel like he's the very much heart of this movie. Mm-hmm. It's just because he's such a sweet dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is so contrast from the alternate character that he plays, who's just a badass.
Especially where there's a little paper scene.
Oh God.
Ow.
But the dude, he just kind of looks at like the other Waymond is like, oh, I used to be just like you.
But not anymore.
But I can't be you anymore because we got a whole lot worse shit that we got to deal with.
Oh, for sure.
But he was just so well done. And then we have another character in here that I was actually genuinely surprised about. Going when it started, I thought, okay, this character I'm either gonna really, really love or really, really hate. And that's Joy, played by Stephanie Sue. I ended up loving her in this role. Because I can't talk very much about her role until we get to spoilers, because she plays a very, very big part in what's going on in the multiverse. So I won't exactly say what's going on, but one thing I will say, another great step for LGBTQ representation.
Absolutely. That was big in this movie.
Because so she plays the daughter of Evelyn and Waymond. And she is a lesbian in this movie.
She has a girlfriend.
And oh wow.
Yeah.
Again, every single time that we keep on talking about like LGBTQ representation in movies, I keep on saying you just got to treat it as normal.
Yes.
As this is the norm. These are the characters who just happen to be LGBTQ, and treat it as normal. They do here.
Finally.
And they don't use it as a shtick.
No.
They don't use it as a, oh my God, we have LGBTQ representation. No, they're just like, no, she's my girlfriend.
I loved that.
Move on.
Bit. Yeah, I loved it. I think it was perfect.
It was great. I loved it. It was wonderful. I really hope that, again, movies keep on going on this track of just treating it normal. All right, Mitch. So, what did you think of Stephanie Hughes' performance as Joy?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed everything right on the coffin. Very, very solid LGBTQ performance by her. I really can't say anything else because, like you said, I'm trying to avoid everything until later on, but she was very, very well done. Very, very well done.
Yeah, no, she put on such a really wonderful performance, and I think really surprised the entire audience.
Oh, she definitely surprised me, and I think I looked around the audience while we were seeing it, which wasn't very packed, by the way.
No, well, and I feel like their marketing push for this movie kind of started literally the week that it was opening.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it was an indie film, so it's not like that's very new for an indie film to start their marketing push right before because of their budget. So,
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, very, very solid performance. But can we talk about the legendary James Hong?
The legendary James Hong.
Absolutely.
Of course we're going to talk about James Hong playing Gong Gong or the grandpa.
I mean,
we got to give props to this man.
Absolutely.
He's like 80, 90. Good for you for doing so much work. Oh my God. I love this man so much. Way to go. Anytime I see this man, I just smile. He plays a very more stereotypical Chinese grandfather, very stuck in his ways.
Oh, for sure.
He also kind of plays a bit of a tragic character too, because he's in our main universe, he's kind of losing it a little bit. He's frail. His memory's a little bit on the fray. But in the other universe, he's actually the boss.
I love that version of his character.
That was a very interesting character. It was a very interesting flip to go from someone who was very frail and kind of near the end of their life to someone who's like calling the shots.
Yeah.
So that was a very cool dynamic to play with. And then I feel like this next wait, do you have anything to say about James Hong? I just feel like him as Grandpa or Gong Gong, it was just really wonderful.
Yeah, he was great, but let's talk about Jamie Lee Curtis.
She was just a casting out of left field, but totally worked.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like they were just like, we just have this random character, let's just cast
Jamie Lee Curtis.
A random person like Jamie Lee Curtis. And I feel like Jamie Lee Curtis just looked at the script and just went, yes.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis, she doesn't do a lot. I know
She doesn't do a much, but
she's been doing a lot with Halloween.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's borderline retirement. So,
yeah, but
which is fine.
I think this was more just like a fun thing for her to do. And you could tell she kind of just had fun with it.
Well, I think she filmed this when she was taking a break between Halloween Kills and this last one that they're doing.
Yep.
So give her a break from trying to fight Michael Myers. I mean,
That's fair. That's fair.
But let's
she was
great.
Instead try to fight Evelyn, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, that's a spoiler?
Yeah, that's a spoiler. My fault.
Wow, Zach.
Well, you see it in the trailer. Like
I didn't see it in no trailer.
Yeah, it was in the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh, okay, you didn't watch the trailer. Well, then,
So you just spoiled the trailer for me.
okay, how dare I spoil what people were trying to market?
But yeah, she played Deidre.
She plays a minor villain.
A taxpayer.
She plays an auditor who's the real main villain of all.
Okay, so you do have to admit, if there was somebody that would be a perfect tax auditor, it would be Jamie Lee Curtis.
Even her character name is just Deidre, and you just go, "Oh, Deidre."
That I feel like if there wasn't Karens, there would be Deidres.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh man, but okay.
Yeah,
we're done talking about the cast. Let's talk about the review.
Let's talk about the review.
This is your movie.
Yep.
Are we doing a podcast?
We are doing this podcast, and we're about to give our review. I promise, Mitch. I promise.
Hey, so I'm doing this as payback because you would do it
because
every
I always
single
do
time.
it every time. I have to. It's great. It's fine.
All right, Zach. So, did you eat this movie up? Did you think it needed to be cooked a little more, or are you feeding it to Jazz?
I'm eating it up.
You're eating it up.
I'm eating it up. Again, like it's like I came into this movie expecting to be bonkered, and I was in spades. It's so off the wall and really wonderful in so many ways. But again, this movie is again not for everybody. Mm-hmm. There are going to be people that are going to walk into it, go, "This is stupid," and walk out. Mm-hmm. I am 90% sure of that. Mm. So this movie is definitely not for everybody, but I loved it. Mm-hmm. What about you, Mish?
So when I left that theater, I told you how I thought it needed to cook.
Yep.
But I took the next couple days to really think about it, and the movie itself is really, really good. Mm-hmm. Just the last 30 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, just were so much going on. But then I kind of realized I think that's what the directors / writers and the Russo brothers, the producers, wanted to do. Uh-huh. So, and they succeeded. Uh-huh. But I feel like I'm still on the fence.
Okay.
However, when I'm doing this, I'm going to say it now.
Okay.
I ate it up.
Okay.
However,
sure,
it needed a little bit more seasoning.
Just a little bit more. Like a little bit of like parsley or like a garnish, like a little garnish.
A little garlic maybe?
Yeah.
And I feel like I needed to have this with a glass of wine maybe?
Like you needed to enjoy this with some alcohol,
yeah.
according to you.
Not like not like a bottle of beer or something like that. Just like a nice little glass of wine.
Like a nice like Merlot.
A good stiff Chardonnay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So yeah, I would say I'm gonna eat this movie up, but it just needed a little
thing
because the first 2.5 acts were just phenomenal. I loved every second of it. Yeah. I got excited. I was happy, and just that last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Which just, there was so much going on. And I literally did this number. I had my glasses on. I'm taking them off now because I'm doing it again. I had to rub my eyes like this. And there were so many bits. I'm like, please, for the love of God and every single universe in this godforsaken multiverse, please let this be the last one.
Yeah.
And it just kept going and going and going. And then I finally understood that, I think that's what the directors wanted to do, and they succeeded, so therefore, I'm eating this up.
Yep. All right. So, we've now completed our review, so if you would like to now go and move on and either go see this or not, you can. But we're going to go ahead and start moving on to our
I wanted to do that.
Okay, all right.
I can't do it now.
I'll retract it.
No,
So,
no,
Mitch,
we gotta keep going.
What are we moving on to?
Spoilers.
All right,
It's
my
not
friends.
the same. Damn you.
Well, we're going to go ahead and move on to our spoiler section.
I'm going to hit you.
You can. It's okay. I understand. We're in a non-abusive relationship. We are now moving on to our spoiler section, my friends. So, if you wish to leave, that's okay. Since we had one spoiler pretty much almost get out of the bag, Mitch.
Hey, you did Deidre too.
Yeah, but that's minor. Like, Joy is huge. Joy is big because, like, Deidre, like, we saw that she was attacking people in the trailers.
So instead of antagonizing me, why don't we just talk about it?
Okay, so since you were about to say it, Mitch, what is Joy in this movie?
Joy is the bad person.
She's the antagonist. There we go. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But again, I love to hate her.
Yeah.
But not for her being the antagonist. It was the fact that I loved why I hated her. Because there were so many points where, like, she has every good reason to be the antagonist in this movie. And I just loved every second of it. Because I knew why she had to be the antagonist, and it was beautiful.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that was kind of like one of the, like, big things, because when you start, I'm not gonna lie, when all this multiversal stuff kind of starts, you're like, why is this happening?
And what the hell is going on?
What's going on? So to have Evelyn's own daughter be kind of at the center of all this is kind of really cool.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, it's really nice to know why. And basically, Joy's, like, entire thesis of the movie is, like, nothing matters. You could do whatever you want, and nothing matters to this universe.
Like the rock scene.
That is my favorite scene in this. I think that might actually be my favorite scene probably by the end of this year. I will probably say, because that scene was beautiful. So what happens, for those that really just don't care, or those that have seen it, there's this scene kind of about at the end of the second act, beginning of the third act, where they go to where Evelyn and Joy go to a universe where humanity doesn't exist at all. Just doesn't exist. And they incarnate as two boulders on the edge of the...
They're not boulders, they're rocks.
It's a rock!
It's a rock! They were rocks, they weren't
They were
boulders.
rocks. Yeah, they were like small little rocks on top of the Grand Canyon, pretty much. And it's just kind of beautiful because Evelyn is like, what the fuck is this? And Joy is like, that's the point of this universe. Like, humanity doesn't exist. It is godforsakenly beautiful over here. Just live in the moment.
Yeah.
And you just sit there with two rocks looking over the Grand Canyon.
With subtitles.
And I just can't help... And you just can't help but to go, huh, yeah, I get it. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I loved it. That was a really touching and really wonderfully sentimental moment that I really loved. But it was where you, like, really, it kind of, for me, like, really clicked entirely, like, what Joy was like genuinely getting at. Because she, like, said it a couple times in the movie. Because she basically acts like the Joker. She's like chaos.
Yeah.
Just laying waste to every single universe that she can. Just 'cause. And does it in the most wacky way possible. Mm-hmm. But it was that scene where, like, I not only sympathized but empathized with Joy in that moment. So that is where her villainy became human. I
Yeah,
feel like,
I
which was
agree.
really, really wonderful. But yeah, what do you want to add about Joy? Because yeah, she was a very, really wonderful villain that you just love to hate.
I feel like you nailed everything. I want to talk about the Wayman scene.
Oh, okay.
Where it happened right after the rock scene.
Okay.
What, or was it before?
You mean like the
When he stops everybody from fighting. For
Oh
like,
yeah, that's after the rock scene.
It was right after the rock scene, and they were everybody was gonna start fighting, and he literally goes like, stops everybody.
Yep.
And he starts saying like, I don't know what's going on. It's freaking me out, but I think we all just need to be kind.
Yeah.
And that was really a beautiful message from
Yeah.
a very beautiful
From a
human
beautiful
being.
character, yeah.
And it really kind of made the audience think like, there's all this fighting going on in the world today, and a lot of people forget that, yes, there's a lot of fighting, but
Yep.
this all can stop if we all just stop, think about what's going on, and be kind. And it's a message that needs to be shown to everybody. So I pledge everybody probably should see this movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, even though this movie is not going to be for everybody, I really do recommend seeing it. I can't state that enough.
There's going to be a few people that will probably walk out.
There will be, and there's nothing we can really do to stop that.
No.
But it's just like the messages are just too beautiful just to miss, and it's so wonderful seeing a character like Ke Kwan play as just a guy who's just so pure and so wonderful that you really feel for him. So when he has his big moment and he's like, just be kind to each other, just talk to each other.
Yeah. Figure it out.
Ultimately, yes, we do get the big battle scene, but it actually, because of that speech, Evelyn changes her fight style to be like, to fight kindly.
Kill him with kindness.
She like literally kills them with kindness. Like she maneuvers them to like start hugging each other. Like it's really weird.
She
but
finds
really,
like little bits in other universes where they actually have good lives or
Yep.
good bits of their lives, and she brings them to
to
that
the universe.
moment. Yeah, to that
and
universe.
it's really fun and interesting.
with the hot dogs.
Okay.
Well,
So
that's gonna be a
let's
quick
go
thing, yeah.
ahead and like move on to like that whole bit. So we said this is a multiverse movie, and we said that this is bonkers. Jesus.
There's a universe where people have
Hot dog
for fingers.
and they move so weirdly. Their entire upper torso is just basically jelly. They like shimmy around.
Yeah.
It's really fucking awesome.
There are bits where they actually chew on the fingers, and
Yeah,
like
mustard and
comes-
ketchup are coming out.
It's gross.
And the funny thing is that so it's a bit that goes throughout the movie. Like
But
it
it's a
doesn't
beautiful bit
happen
at the end,
just
yeah.
but yeah, it actually turns into a really beautiful bit at the end because Jamie Lee Curtis in that universe,
Deidre.
Waymond and Evelyn have broken up, and Evelyn and Deidre actually form a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful and really great, but also like the final time that you go to that universe,
They're eating.
they're eating fingers, but also they reveal that because they don't have very much control over the fingers of the hot dog fingers, they use their feet
Yeah.
to like do things.
Yeah.
So like that very last scene of them like, you know, being very loving and whatnot is their feet caressing their faces and their feet playing the piano, and their feet are just all like hulked out and muscled out.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny but so loving. It's
Yeah.
still like, oh god.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny
Oh
scene.
god. Oh god, it's bonkers, man.
Yeah, the movie
it's
itself
bonkers.
is bonkers.
Okay, so we have a Parks and Rec person also make a cameo in here. She's it's John Ralphio's sister. Mona Lisa, the girl that plays Mona Lisa, has a small bit role in this. She plays I believe she's credited as Big Nose.
Yeah,
in there. Her entire character is just carrying around like a Bichon Frise. And in the attacking universe,
Yep.
she comes in and has a very big fight sequence with the dog as nunchucks.
God.
When that happened, me and Mitch were busting out laughing.
Because
I feel like when that happened, because this movie had a little bit of a slow burn start. Like it took a little bit for us to actually get into like what was going on, because it took a lot to set up like exactly like what's going on and what's going wrong with Evelyn's like just main life, not like what multiversal is going wrong, just like what's going wrong in our main universe. So setting up all that kind of took a little bit of time, but when Big Nose started nunchucking the dog, I think that's where we kind of like, oh, this is exactly what this movie is gonna be.
It's gonna be bonkers.
And that's when you knew that you were in for a ride. I feel like there was like a lot of stuff, like very cool way of like dealing with the multiverse, of like you relating to like yourselves and like trying to get back to the universe, is like creating like something like that would never happen in that universe, like a paper cut or a weird sex dream. They were fighting with dildos at one point.
I remember.
It was that like it's bonkers, man.
It really
like
was.
it's bonkers, but in all the best ways possible.
You have to see it for yourself.
You have to see this for yourself. Mitch, any last things you want to talk about before we get it? Before we sum up and head out?
This movie was bonkers. It really was. I can't. We hit it, but that's just the way cinema is. Sometimes.
It is, and you know what? Every now and again, we really just need a movie that is just way out of left field.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what I feel like this movie is. So I'm so happy we got to see it. But until the next absolutely bonkers, way out of left field movie, I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Mitch.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
And this was a little movie podcast.
Hello?
Are we still going?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know how to end this.
I don't know either.
This is everything everywhere all at once. I don't know how to end this.
Bye.
Bye.